Hello everyone, and welcome to the After Show Korea edition. In this episode, we will discuss episodes 3 and 4 of the Korean drama Big.
Hello, my name is Steven, and with me is my regular co-host Kelvin.
Hello.
Please keep in mind that in discussing these episodes, there will be spoilers. We will be spoiling everything up until episode 4, so please go and watch the show first if you do mind spoilers. Also, please understand that neither of us are Korean, so we will mispronounce names and lots of names. So, we are sorry. We are sorry, but it's because we are, Jersey Shore loving Americans, and that's just how we roll. Now, as a reminder from our first episode, we did not want this episode to be just a recap show. There are some really great recap pages out there, like, for example, Drama Beans. We wanted this show to, kind of just talk about the scenes that we liked and that we didn't like. So we're going to try and discuss them in chronological order to keep things easier to follow. And without further ado, let's just get started with our discussion of episodes 3 and 4.
Alright, so episode 3 started where Kyung-jun was realizing that Yoon-jae was a two-timing guy,
Bastard.
Bastard. But in this scene, Se-young's trying to get Daran out of the picture and have, tea or cookies with Kyung-jun. And I thought this was kind of weird because Se-young's like really bold and just really trying to, not hiding it that she wants Darang out of the picture. And I mean, what did you think of that, Steven? Did you not think that was weird?
I mean, that's kind of her character, and she's really trying to take advantage of the timid, Darang. I mean, in America, it probably would have been like, yo, want to have sex? I mean, like, at least just go with tea and cookies, like.
But the wife or the fiancé is right in front of her. That's too bold for me. That's crazy.
Well, you're not supposed to like her. I mean, it is bold. Of course it is. And you're supposed to be like, don't do it, Kyung-jun, don't do it,
Yeah, but Daran's so clueless, too. She's like, oh, yes, I'll get you cookies and just go upstairs or we'll have some tea and everything. It's like, really, Daran? Come on. You see what's happening, right?
I think we talked about it last episode, and it's just that their love is
her
written,
love, I think.
her love is written from like a 12, a early puberty teenager, where she's not thinking about that kind of stuff because maybe this was her first boyfriend, I guess, ever, because she just doesn't understand how relationships or guys work. Or other girls work, for that matter,
Yeah.
Because she doesn't really have any girlfriends, at least as we've seen so far in the show.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, her teacher co-workers, I guess, her closest girlfriend, but I guess they don't really communicate a lot in the show. So
yeah, so maybe she just doesn't really kind of understand the proper, even though that's pretty crazy to think that. But it is a Korean drama, you have to kind of believe that kind of stuff all the time,
Yeah.
But, I mean, I love that scene, actually, also, just because they're, like, bantering back and forth, and it's just one of those classic scenes of, Kyung-jun knows more than Darang, because he knows that she wants to get in his man pants, And it's just that whole, but I don't, it's from a third-party perspective, you're like, obviously something's wrong,
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good television, and Mingjun's, like, face acting is just
perfect.
So good, switching between like hatred or like anger to
and then smiling, just turning around and stuff.
Yeah, awesome. with a big old cute, cute eyes. I really liked it.
Yeah, me too. Mingjun was really good, or Daran was really good in that scene.
Now, speaking of that, the very next scene kind of just not confused me, but it just seemed to negate the awesomeness of what we just talked about. And it was when after they Kyung-jun and Darang go back upstairs, and they have like a little mini fight, and she like bites him and stuff like that. But Kyung-jun decides to leave, and of course Se-young is still waiting there, right?
Yeah.
And after making this big deal of like, I don't want to be with you, I want to be with my fiance, please get the hell out of my face. She's like, hey, want to get us something to drink? And he's like,
Okay.
Okay, and it's like, what the hell just happened in the last,
Yeah.
it,
That was weird for me too. I was like, would you really do that? I guess what I'm thinking is he's his 18-year-old mind, and he's just kind of throwing a fit, and he's rebelling, and that's why he went and had drinks with Sejong. But I didn't like that scene either.
yeah, I thought maybe I can believe it in a sort of, he's a young kid and he's trying to pay,
Have kind of
get
like revenge, right?
revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was just way too quick a turnaround, especially they just made a huge funny scene about that. But that was just something I didn't really like.
Yeah, I didn't like that scene either. I wouldn't. Well, I don't know. If I was younger, I might have done something like that. I'd try to get revenge, but
And
it's
that is
understandable.
why we get lots of girls now, right?
Woo! I get tons of girls.
Especially when you start by saying woo.
Woo girl, come on, man.
All right, well, the next thing that I really liked, of course, is the great, the finally after 2 episodes, Susie is finally in the
Susie.
show and she plays Jang Mari, I guess is how you pronounce it. And she's introduced in these text messages that Kyung-joon is getting when he turns on his phone. And it's just these quick little fast things of just introducing the minor quirks of Jang Mari's character. And it was awesome. And I know we say it a lot, but she's
You know
so
what else
cute.
would be awesome?
So cute. Yeah, what?
She is really cute. If it was like if we were had a show kind of like Running Man, where when you say Susie, we immediately have her like Miss A music come up. That'd be pretty awesome.
It would be pretty awesome.
Well,
if you're a weirdo like Calvin.
how do you not like Miss A's music?
I mean, I do wish, though, walking around life that I could just have background music. That would be pretty cool. Like, then everyone would know when I'm sad, and rain will always be
You're always
falling
sad.
whenever I'm sad, and lightning probably,
There'd be lightning and rain all day if that happened.
You know what? That would
Is
be
that why you
pretty
have
awesome.
cats?
Hey, my cats are cute, so I don't give a poop. Anyways, keep going, bro.
Well, I like that scene too because Susie was super cute, and then all the fast cuts and Kyung Joon's imagination of what Susie's actually doing and all that kind of stuff, and I thought it was really funny.
I agree.
The next scene, though, I really enjoyed as well was when Jang Mari actually goes to the morning assembly of Darang's school, and Darang sees Marie but doesn't know who she is, and she signals to the VP or the principal and she was saying, "Oh, I don't know her. Don't worry, this isn't related to me or anything." But then Marie comes up and asks for money, just like Kyung Joon did a couple episodes back, and I thought that was a great scene. And when Kyung Joon comes to the assembly as well, the whole class of the assembly is pointing of where Marie and Daram went. So that was a pretty good scene.
Yeah, I didn't really like the gag in the second episode, I think, when he's all taking off his shirt because he's like has food allergies and didn't know what that was, I guess. But I did really like this callback because they play that music when the cab's driving up, and it's like, oh, it's gonna be Kyung-joon again, and then it's Mari shows up and she's awesome at just like kind of being a stuck-up bitch, she's just like
she's like that snotty character. She plays
Yeah.
it so well, just like Dream High. She played that snotty character in the beginning.
That is true. I mean, maybe that's all she can do. I don't know. I haven't seen her movie yet, but I really did like it. It was, and then right after Mari, of course, Kyung-joon comes as well, and it was just a double punch, and I was laughing pretty hard.
Yeah.
All right, next, a couple scenes later, there's a scene that I really, really liked, and it was when Kyung-joon and Darang meet up with doctor friends, Yoon Jae's doctor friends, and they all decide to go eat. They all decide to go drink, right? And Yoon Jae's friend starts telling the story of how Yoon Jae first met Darang, right? And it was something he was hiding and something I guess he was embarrassed of because he never told Darang for the whole time.
I mean, Sejong was trying to make fun of Darang, like, you guys first met really pitifully, because you fell off the stairs and stuff.
Because she's a bitch.
She is a bitch.
No, and I thought it was great because at first you're like, wait, did this really happen? But like, because it's just a repeat of the first 10 minutes of the first episode, but all from kind of a totally different perspective.
Right.
And I really liked it because that was the first time you see Young-jae,
Actually,
have an extended scene where he's actually showing a real personality, not just stoic doctor guy,
it actually shows that he likes Daran, and shows that emotion towards Daran. Because all the scenes that we've seen, he's really, cold. It's not really cold, it's just emotionless to her a little bit. Because on the phone.
I think he likes her and everything. He just may not be, he's not high school in love with her, He's not deep in love with her, at least from what we've seen. But I really liked it. And of course, Se-young, it's pretty much a big slap in her face. So.
Yeah. The whole time I was thinking, it's like, yes, suck it, bitch. Suck it, Se-young. I hate you. But
that's pretty dirty. You should keep those minds to yourselves, bro.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Come on, guy. Why you gotta embarrass me?
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Hater.
Anyways, after that, the drinking, there's the kind of the last scene in the episode, and Kyung-jun and Darang are walking back after drinking, and Darang is just the cutest drunk ever. I mean, she's not really drunk, because that involves throwing up.
Have you seen many cute drunk girls before?
Every drunk girl I've ever met, you just want to drop them and then leave them on the street. But of course you can't, because you got to take care of them and make sure they don't get, raped by all the rapists in America. But, she wasn't really drunk. She was kind of tipsy, just kind of a little bit there. And you can tell by the way she's talking that she's, not in control of what she's saying. And she's kind of, it's kind of sad because she really just wants Young-jae to be there, right?
Yeah.
And so she's kind of talking to Kyung-jun and really wanting him to just shut up, right? Just wants him to shut up and just sit there, and so she can pretend that her Young-jae is there.
Yeah.
And that's the first time where I was like, really like, no, no, you want to be with Kyung-jun, right? You want to.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh, don't do that. I'd rather that Kyung-jun and Daran had more interaction, more talking. But when she said, don't talk and stuff, I was like, oh, that's depressing. Sorry, Kyung-jun.
But you know what? It's okay because, contrary to some or most Korean dramas that I've seen, they kind of went straight to it. They were like, now we're gonna have a holding hands scene real quick, right? Then we're gonna have an arms around the shoulders scene real quick, and then we're gonna freeze frame on the lean in close. That always happens, but
that's actually pretty true. Like a lot of the skinship progresses pretty quickly in this drama, actually.
Right. I mean, you saw Chocolate Abs
Chocolate Abs going for the sneaky arm grab or the sneaky arm wrap.
Yeah.
Oh, Chocolate Abs.
But anyways, that's pretty much the end of episode 3. I really, really liked this episode, and I was really looking forward to episode 4, which I did watch back to back. You watched it back to back too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because we have to wait for the English subs, and sometimes it takes quite a while, right?
Yeah.
But
anyways, we should learn Korean.
We should learn Korean. I heard it's pretty easy, but judging from our pronunciation,
fail.
I think we'll have a hard time. But we're going to take a quick break right now, and we'll be back in like 15-20 seconds with episode 4. All right, we're back. Episode 4. It starts out like right away with this flashback scene where Young-jae is kissing the quote-unquote sleeping Darang. And I thought this scene, even though it was a little unbelievable, I thought it was so cute. Like, I need to stop saying cute, but I just can't help it. It was so cute because
seriously though, but who does that? Who goes in with a sleeping kiss?
I mean,
this isn't like Snow White, all right?
I mean, date rapists do, but I mean...
that's exactly what I was like. Sleeping kiss, really? Does that work? I mean, if it works, that's what I should be doing.
A lot of times, though, in movies, like American movies, like when in the morning your girlfriend or a wife wakes you up from sleeping. I mean, that it's not as weird, I don't think, as you make it out to be.
No, it's weird because the thing is, they've never kissed before, and in Korea, like skin contact and all that kind of stuff is very important or very,
in dramas. But I'm sure in real life, people are freaking making out like just like America. Like I don't think it's that. Because it shows to me that Young-jae is also kind of
into Darang?
No, he's also inexperienced. You know,
I see.
he also kind of doesn't know what a relationship should be like, so he kind of took that moment of her being asleep as the only moment he can bring up the courage to give her a kiss. You know.
Guess.
And I have been in really awkward situations where I just pretended to react in a way, and
I thought you said you were gonna pretend that you
Oh,
pretended
not
to sleep,
to
and then someone else kissed you. I'm like, hey, that's not bad.
I mean,
It's not that
maybe I
awkward.
should try that. Just start hanging out like in random places, pretending to sleep. Although you do know a dirty dude is gonna be like putting his dong in my mouth or something. But anyways, either way, Darang, I mean, she got out good. I mean, she didn't get a dong in her mouth. You know, she got a kiss from a really sexy guy. But obviously, I thought it was really cute scene in the arm. I know you thought it was a little strange, but I liked it.
It's just not believable for me. So, but I guess people actually do that. So I should be trying this stuff.
I think it is extra weird that it was in a car. It was their first kiss, you know. But I do think that if you're a kind of inexperienced, you know, guy, and you're like, what's the best time to kiss a girl? I might as well just go in when she's
Sleeping.
you know, asleep.
I guess she won't reject you.
Yeah,
Until
I mean,
after the kiss.
she could slap you and push you away, but why would you when you look like that guy, right?
Yeah, it's true. You probably
Alright.
kiss him too.
I probably, you know, I just close my eyes and pretend, right?
God, you probably get a dong in your mouth though.
I know, I don't. All right. Anyways, fuck
Continue.
dogs in my mouth.
Keep going.
The next scene that I enjoyed was when Darang comes over to give Kyungjun his school notes, right? Because she previously asked her brother to get, you know, the number one kid's notes so that Kyungjun, if he does switch back to his original body, he still needs to take exams and all that good stuff, right?
That was really sweet of her.
Yeah, and this, I really liked the scene because it was, I think, the first time or first major time where she went over for him. Not
Have
because
him do
he was
stuff.
not because he was ruining Yuja's body or anything like that. She went just for him, and you know, he really enjoyed it because he tricked her into staying for longer by saying he didn't really understand this math stuff and he needed help. And so it's time lapse, but you kind of see that she stayed for much longer and he gets to, you know, spend more time with her, and I thought it was really cute.
I thought in the end, Kyungjun was just making her do all the work. In that scene, she was like all that paper thrown away, and she was just working on the math, and he was in the back just, I don't know, smiling at her, like laughing at it.
I mean, he was laughing because he was making her do it for no reason. You know, it wasn't like he needed her help. It was just like he wanted her to stay. Or, you know, kind of in that immature way of, I'm going to push you and I like you. You know, that kind of thing. But I thought it was really significant, you know, because you're really, at least for me, I'm rooting for Kyungjun now. Or at least Gong Yu's version of Kyungjun.
Yeah.
Not really Shin's version, because that guy's kind of a...
I feel sorry for Shin, man. He's like never in the episode, and if he is, he's just sleeping there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, he's going to... I don't know what's going to happen, but there's going to be some switching back, I'm sure, and some weird stuff. But anyways, the next thing that I really enjoyed, and of course, it's
Susie!
cute, is when Darang and Kyungjun go to the hospital because Mari finds Kyungjun's original body, right? And texts them her next to it. And so they need to do some damage control, right?
Yeah.
And when they get to the hospital, you know, Darang's kind of freaking out a little bit. And Kyungjun is telling her that you don't know Mari. She is freaking insane, right? Like, she will be near me at all times. And there's like this flashback scene
Super
of
clingy.
Susie just doing the cutest, popping out of nowhere hugging I've ever seen.
Clinging onto
Dude, she
Chocolate
can cling on me all she wants. That is awesome.
I agree. But yeah, that was really cute. I pretty much repeated that section a couple times because I couldn't get enough of it.
Okay, I'm not repeating sections, you know.
Come on, how could you not repeat that? She's so damn cute.
Well, she is really cute, and I hope to see more of her because even still, she wasn't really in much. She was only in a handful of scenes, and a lot of the scenes were with Darang's brother, who I actually kind of like, but because he's kind of dumb, right? But that's kind of besides the point right now.
I think it's pretty funny how Susie and or Marie, you know, takes the pizza pies as like a counter.
Right. Yeah. Because although I mean I guess we didn't really talk about it this episode, but the sequence where her brother, Darang's brother, is like trying to hit on Suzy.
He signs her purse.
Yeah, and like at the very end, he like does all this baller stuff, and at the very end, he's just like, "I'm gonna sign your purse," which is the dumbest idea ever. Like,
you can tell that she's like a high class type of girl, and that purse is not just gonna be worth like $20 for a pizza.
even if it's worth $20, your first impression in a girl is like, "I'm gonna ruin your shit." Like, it doesn't make any sense. But
well, yeah, like you say, he's kind of dumb. He's not very good at this stuff. So
that's true, I guess. But anyways, the next scene that I did not like, even though I did really find it funny, but it just it irks me the same way it irked me last podcast, is when Kyungjun and Mari are copying each other. They're doing this little copycat thing.
That was awesome.
I mean, it was so cute, but it just, they keep on, the character of Kyungjun just keeps jumping back and forth, and it just,
I think is just
bothers me.
Kyungjun and Mari are really close, actually, and that's the real side of him, I think.
Well, that's true, but it's like they just spent a couple like minutes saying we are not the same person. You know, like, I'm a doctor. You know, I am her fiance. I'm this guy, and then they go straight into super acting like copycats. Like, that's pretty obvious that
he's just trolling her,
or it's bad script writing and they just needed a funny scene. I mean, I did think it was funny. But I just felt that I think it's going to bother me more and more and more because I know there's going to be more serious moments, you know?
Yeah.
There always are, you know, cancer or car accident or just, you know, losing your hearing, some kind of serious moment. And I just don't like it when they don't get a character consistent, even in American television shows, even in anything, you know? And it bothers me when it just, you have like a super serious scene and then this weird slapstick version of Kyungjun.
So you just want something more serious, like between Mari and Kyungjun?
I guess I shouldn't say serious, but I think you can do this copycat scene with Kyungjun putting up more of a fighting with his immature side, you know? But he like just went into it, you know? He wasn't even fronting anymore. He was just like
fronting?
Yeah, he was just like, I'm a little kid again. I'm gonna copy you like a 5-year-old, you know? Like, I really like Gong Yu's portrayal because he's always have this like inner fight, you know, between acting like Youngjae and acting like
Kyungjun. Yeah.
Yeah. But not to be down again, but the next scene that I did not like was
when you didn't really like a lot of the scenes.
There was just this weird section, and it was when Kyungjun ends up calling Youngjae's mom.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just this scene. I mean, I know it wasn't meant to be anything. It was just supposed to be like, you know, next time we'll maybe get into this mystery. But, you know, who talks to their mom in such vague terms, you know? Like, that was just them forcing in this stuff, you know, to try and make this...
Like the fantasy
events. Yeah, try to make the fantasy event, quote unquote, make sense. Like, oh, they share the same book. Oh, like, it's like, who cares? Have them body switch and have them have fun. You don't need to scientifically explain it, you know?
Guess so. I kind of just, you know, didn't really care about the scene as well, but and it's not that I disliked it. It was like, it's just typical type of fantasy, you know, drama type stuff. So I was like, okay, well, they're going to eventually talk about this in next few episodes, so...
Yeah, I mean, and they have the same birthday. I guess me personally, it's just...
They have the same birthday? Totally missed that.
Remember, like, he was trying his passcode on his thing, and he's like, is it this date? And it's like, oh, that's my birthday too, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I just would prefer it's like, yes, it doesn't make any sense, so you don't need to really explain it. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. It's a little off topic, but it's like when they try to explain the Force in Star Wars with freaking midi-chlorians, it's like, who cares? Like,
what?
All right, you're not a nerd. All right, moving on. Moving on. The next scene, which I didn't like, again.
Well, man, you're just a hater.
I know. Is Kyungjun and Darang are at the school, and of course the vice principal sees them leave.
How did you not like that scene though? They're like bickering and doing.
No, the bickering was fine, but it was when it was Kyungjun's turn to try and get the vice principal on Darang's side, and he's like freaking quoting the worst Russian I've ever heard in my life. Like,
oh, because you speak Russian.
No, but like, why does a 16-year-old boy from America, where we're from, ain't no one know Russian? Most people in America don't even know English. You know what I mean? Like, why is this kid quoting a random Russian play or whatever that was?
Because Koreans think we're brilliant.
I don't think so.
All the languages.
I think it's like, we need a real quick way to show Kyung-joon's super smart. This is how it just, that kind of arbitrary stuff always bothers me in shows. I know you probably don't think about it that hard, but I don't like it when things are just completely arbitrary. It's like there needs to be a reason, and it doesn't. I think later on there's a throwaway part of like, how do you know Russian? And it's like, my mom had like workers that were Russian or some bullshit like that, and I was like, that's lame. Like,
didn't he say that?
Screw it.
But
to the VP?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe so, but I was just like,
VP, or I think he did. But anyways. If you don't like this kind of stuff, then how do you even get into any TV shows? They always have this kind of stuff.
No, they don't. Like,
it's arbitrary, or at least dramas do. They have really random, come back from U.S. and know this thing and know that thing, or.
I mean, no. Usually, the thing they know is how to say, "Uh-oh." I mean, I can understand when they say they know English, even though obviously their English is terrible, right?
Actually, I think Gong Yu's English is not bad. I mean, it's only like one phrase, but it's actually pronounced pretty well.
Right, which is fine because in the text of the story, it makes sense because he's from America. He should speak English. But this is just this total random, arbitrary way of proving he's smart with a Russian poem. Like, it probably could have been done other ways, but, we don't really need to talk about it too much longer.
You're just hater.
I know, so let's talk about something good, all right? I really liked this scene because it was dramatic, but I really felt for it. I didn't think it was done too dramatically. It was when Kyung-joon goes back to his house and he sees his uncle and aunt just has thrown everything away. He's like watching it painfully, right?
God, I hate his uncle.
And of course, even though he needs to go meet Darang for their apartment meeting, and the whole time you're like, go to the meeting, he is in the rain, of course, obviously in the rain.
Push his bed back.
Yeah, trying to save all his stuff, and I really felt for him. I was like...
It was a really sad scene.
Yeah, it was a really sad scene. It wasn't overly dramatic, and I really liked it.
Me too.
It made me feel for him a little bit more, which you need sometimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, you finally kind of get on the good... Not really good side, it's just you feel kind of good for him, Cause
right, and it comes at the cost of Darang being mad at him later,
Yeah.
And... Of course, I fully expected her to blow things out of proportion, because how would she know, right?
Right. But I mean, I thought she would understand too. And like we see in the next scene, Darren actually figures out that he's all wet from the rain and his bed's all wet and he's been pushing it from the outside and stuff. And like you said, his uncle and his aunt threw away all the stuff, right? So Darren takes the newlywed stuff that they just bought, that she really cherishes and says like, oh, we can only, with you and Jack, I can only wear this when we first get married and all that kind of stuff because it's really significant, And
yeah, actually, they set that up. They set that up earlier, and it really pays off.
Yeah, and now she's sharing it with Kyung-joon and cooking for him with all the newlywed stoves and all that kind of stuff. So I really like that scene because you can finally see again, Daron actually really cares for Kyung-joon.
Although there's such a good line in there, and I'm probably not quoting correctly, but Kyung-joon, even though he knows she's taking care of him, and he's grateful, right? Like you can see it in his face because, I think Gong Yoo is a really good actor, right? You can see in his face that he's embarrassed and he's sad, but he's a little bit happy she's taking care of him. And he says, "But you still don't have the same eyes when you look at me as you do when you think of Youngjae, right?"
Right. Those
and
heart-shaped eyes.
Yeah, the heart-shaped eyes. And I was like, oh, man, that's so true, And I felt really bad for him,
Hopefully, in the future episodes, she will have heart-shaped eyes for him.
Well, I would expect so, because it's a Korean drama, right? But random side note, that house is so awesome. I just cannot...
You already mentioned this in the first episode.
I know, and I gotta mention it again. Like,
it is a pretty cool house.
Like with the... I mean,
I don't... Thing, the glass.
The glass.
That I want that. That's
I
awesome.
mean, you don't really see it until a little later scene, but like they're like playing with the glass where he's like trying to shut her up, and he just like fogs the glass, unfogs it, fogs the glass, unfogs it. I'm like, that glass is freaking awesome.
It's pretty good.
But also, like, I don't know if this happens in a bunch of Asian houses, but they have like a little stove on the, I guess in America we call it kind of the counter, right?
The island.
It's like an island counter
Yeah.
where they sit and eat, and I guess they do cook a lot of hot pot noodles and stuff. But I was like, dude, if I'm buying a house, and I'm made of money, like I'm putting one of those right there.
Stove in the island.
Yeah, stove in the island. We can eat
My
Korean
house has a
barbecue
stove
all
in
day.
the island.
Who?
My house.
No, but that's not an island. This is the listeners aren't going to be able to picture a house. But your island is not to sit at and eat. Your island is for cooking.
Chairs there, and we can eat there. Bam!
Right, but
I got a Korean house.
But this island is all right. Whatever. We're
I understand. You like the Korean house. You think it's cool. You already mentioned it once, but we'll mention it again. That's cool.
We will, just like cute Susie. Even though we don't see her for the second half of the episode, still cute.
Still cute. I had a quick question when, there's a scene where Daran goes to the hospital and put, the couple socks. She has couple gloves and she puts couple socks on Hyungjun's original body. And
Right.
Do you think she's putting them on Yoonjae inside Kyungjun, or is she putting them on Kyungjun? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. I think she's putting them because she thinks Yoonjae is in there.
okay, so you don't think because I was thinking she was putting them on. Well, okay, now that you say that, I guess that makes sense because she still is in love with Yoonjae, and that's why she put them on Kyungjun.
Right, and she just spent, like hours taking care of Kyungjun. So finally, after all of that, kind of to cap it off at the end, she's like, "Oh, I still need to think. I'm still thinking about Yoonjae. I still want him to be okay."
Yeah. All right, that makes sense.
All right, now the next scene is the last one I didn't like from this episode, and I understand why it had to happen, but it was after all this, Darang is taking care of Kyungjun, busted out all her newlywed stuff, all for him, right? He missed the meeting for the newlywed house that was very important to her, right?
Yep.
And instead of making it up to her, it is stealing. He steals all of Youngjae's money
Pretty much.
and buys his own house back, even though it's a badass house. But I get that it has to happen because they have to live in that house, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it was just such a quick change in character. I just didn't understand it.
I think it's just the emotional shock that, the aunt and uncle is going to sell the house, and he was trying to think, what can I do to save it? And he remembers that, Yoonjae's loaded with money, so he's like, all right, I'm going to use that. And because he's Yoonjae now, because Daron's always telling him, you got to act like Yoonjae, you got to act like Yoonjae. It's like, well, if I'm going to act like Yoonjae, I'm going to use Yoonjae's money. So...
Right, but he's not acting like Yoonjae because Yoonjae would never do that. And I thought he and Darang got to a point in their relationship where he probably could have talked to her about it. If he talked to her about it and then ignored her advice and bought it, I can buy that. Right? I can buy that. But if he just, and especially right the next day after this, right? He just right away was like, fuck Darang's feelings. I'm just going to do it. Right? I just thought it was a bit strange.
I don't think he was thinking about Darang at all, though. He was just thinking about himself and his, the house that his mom left him. So,
which I think goes against everything in this entire episode. Is all building up his relationship with Darang, and he was just like, fuck it,
Yeah, but he was going. He explains to Darang's like, I'm going to pay you back anyways because he knows he has the money. It's just he
right.
I guess
he can't
expected
get it.
that Darang was going to understand that he can't get the money and he'll pay her back, but
I will say though that
purchase.
I will say that she did forgive him pretty quickly. Like it was just a couple hours, and
like you said, she would probably have understood if he just talked to her about it before.
Right, and I kind of expected, in a Korean drama, like usually the women are like hot tempered and they're like punching him and hitting him and throwing things at him, but she kind of just sat inside, breathed for a couple, I don't know how long it was, right? And was just like, you made a mistake.
But just come inside.
But just come inside. We will make the best out of this. And they,
They do the moving in scene, which is awesome.
They do the moving in scene, and once again,
awesome house. Awesome house.
Awesome. Right, and this is where that scene was, where he's like turning off and on the window, and and that was really cute.
And it's also the scene where he gets a phone call from Sejong, right? And kind of goes out shopping. Well, he goes and meets Sejong and finds out that the key is Sejong's. In the
right, because during the moving in house part, Darang did see the key.
Oh, right.
Like, he already knew the key was Sejong's, because he purposely didn't tell Darang, right? He like tried to hide it. He tried to throw it away.
Yeah, so he throws it away. But then eventually Darang, when the family's leaving, going back to the dumpling house, the dumpling shop, that's their house. Darang actually realizes that, she puts it all together. The text messages from Yoonjae's phone, the random key that they found in Yoonjae's house. She realizes that key is actually Sejong's, and she's just dashing or like running there. And it was a really great scene because you can finally see Kyung-joon act like a really strong and supportive person for Darang.
Right, like you see what we feel, right? You're like, don't do it, don't get there, don't do it. And I thought it was really good. It was, really dramatic. And the way it ended, it was just so, she gets right to the house. She rings the doorbell. Yeah. And there comes Kyung-joon coming in. He just slams it shut and holds her. And it's like, scene ends. And you're like, oh, shoot, what's going to happen next, right? Like, I thought it was pretty powerful. And then you click the next
episode and you continue to watch like I do.
Right, against my wishes. But either way, that's pretty much it for episodes 3 and 4, right?
Pretty much.
All right, we would like any feedback that we can get. So please, 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 if you have any questions or any feedback that would help make the show better, please email us at aftershowshow@gmail.com. You can also visit our website. Our website is www.aftershowshow.com, and we will post all our stuff there. We also do a normal podcast. Right now we're reviewing The Legend of Korra, if you're interested in that. And if you could please just spread the word. We're not famous. We don't have our own big Korean website. So if you could tell your friends about it or leave a review on iTunes, that would really, really help out the show. But until next week when we review episodes 5 and 6, I'm Steven.
And I'm Kelvin.
And this is the Asscast Korea. And we will see you again next week.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the After Show Show Korea edition. In this episode, we will discuss the oh shit. My bad! Hello everyone, and welcome to the After Show Show. I do sound like a newscast. How do you say it?
At the end of this podcast, you should be top 5 cutest moments. Number 5, Susie. Number 4, Susie. Number 3, Susie. Number 1, chocolate ass.
You would put him up top.